We all know the great Willie O'Ree was the first black player in NHL history, but who was the second? Well, he was the first high draft pick ever in NHL history. Came in during the underage explosion of the 1970s and basically was part of Washington Capitals history because he had signed a major deal with them for the squad, 5 years, I think it was. So today we're going to be talking about the pride of the Sudbury Wolves, Mike Marson, now drafted 19 overall in the 1974 amateur draft, 5'9", 200, hard scrabble. Came to major prominence with that 74 campaign in the O, where he had 94 points in 69 games with a rugged 146 minutes and penalties. Now, he was an OMJHL All-Star second team in 74 and led the Wolves with 94 points at age 18 and 74. Now, he was available in the 74 NHL amateur draft because of the league's decision that year to allow drafting of underage players under 20 on the campaign. Because Capitals and the scouts were coming in, he figured he needed some more players. He eventually signed a 5-year contract with the Capitals after the 74 draft. He reported to Washington's 74 training camp, unfortunately, 22 pounds overweight. But he had a good start in the preseason. He had a hat trick for Washington in a game against Detroit in Ann Arbor, Michigan, early in that season. His first NHL game was also the first game in Washington Capitals franchise history. Again, he became the first black player to play an NHL game in nearly 14 years when he made his debut on October 9th, 1974. Unfortunately, a massive concussion kind of hurt his first season in a collision with Blues Garnet Ace Bailey, who was a future Capital, during the Capitals' December 7th, 74 game at St. Louis. Now, he eventually played in the minors for a few years, including Baltimore, Springfield, Hershey, of the AHL, and Philadelphia Binghamton of the AHL. Now, he eventually took classes at the University of Maryland during his playing days in Washington. He was also deeply involved in the martial arts after his retirement and became a fifth-degree black belt in Shotokan Karate. He also developed and marketed his own self-defense technique called Marson. Made self-available as public speaker, willing to discuss the history of minorities in hockey and honor pro sports, and he was featured in that category in a prominent article in the Hockey News. Now, he's also the older brother of former college hockey player Larry Marson. Now, he eventually was traded to L.A. for Steve Clippendale on June 11th, 79, but he had very limited success with the Dion Kings. Now, as a youth, he also played the 68 Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament with a minor hockey squad from Wexford. Now, the left winger was kind of what they call a medium power forward. Didn't have the height, but had the weight. Now, the idea of a rookie, he had his best season that year and did get some votes for Rookie of the Year honors. He had 16 goals and 12 assists for 28 points in 76 games. Now, he also claims to have encountered discrimination early in his first season, allegedly recalling having the racial slurs and yelled at him during his first game in Maple Leaf Gardens against the Leafs. His teammates also expressed how the slurs and taunts adversely impacted Marson. There were racial slurs that were fired and he'd be quick to react. He had a short fuse. The next thing you knew, he'd be involved in something. It was hard for him to work on his game, and he could skate. He was one of the best skaters in the league, but he spent so much energy having to defend himself, said his talented teammate Ron Lalonde. He was also the target of numerous death threats, which, par for the course in that crackpot era of the 70s. Now, struggled again with his weight problems throughout his career. In total, he played 196 games in the NHL, 193 with Washington and 3 with LA, with 48 points on 24 goals and 24 assists, and 233 minutes and penalties. Of course, Bill Riley, our Nova Scotia, senior and pro talent, also was black. I think that's the first team to have two black players on the squad. I don't know about Buffalo. Tony McKechnie was there for a while in Quebec. Now, while playing junior hockey in Sudbury, he also suffered a heavy tragedy. The loss of his mother, who died unexpectedly of a brain aneurysm. Nearly 4 years later, he was dealt another personal tragedy when his younger brother passed away suddenly at the age of 20. Now, the off-ice martial arts training program for hockey players, like I said, that he put together. It was designed to improve timing, focus, and confidence. Now, former NHL player Rick Nash from Team Canada was also a student of the program. So again, big start in hockey. Chatham Junior Maroons, SOHL, in '72. Then the 2 seasons with the Wolves. First season with the Capitals, 28 points in 76 games. 76, a dip off, 11 points in only 57 games, and had 12 games in the minors. 77 with the Capitals, 1 assist in 10 games, and he played mostly with Springfield that year. 15 goals, 17 assists for 32 points. Now, 78, 4 goals and 4 assists in 46 games with the Capitals, and 5 goals, 3 assists, and 8 points with Hershey. 79 with the Capitals again, he had 4 games, but also played that year with the Philadelphia Firebirds and the Bennington Dusters, and of course the trade to the Kings. And his last pro season, 3 games with the Kings. Actually, there is a YouTube of one of his few games with the Kings in a game against Detroit, and of course played with the Dusters that season as well in Bennington. So AHL totals, 87 points in 230 games, 7 points in the playoffs, and the Dusters playoff run in 1979. NHL again, 24, 24, 48, 233. Now, he came to major prominence in Quebec as well, because the announcer from CBC French noted the fact he was kind of on track to be, not say rookie of the year honors, but to be recognized quite a bit for his strong play. Now, ironically, that year it was quite interesting how everybody on the Capitals that year was in the negative plus minus. And I'm just going to go over the rough stats because I think it's interesting to put it all together, because no matter what he would do, let's say if he had a successful game, just to recap this for you, ladies and gentlemen, they only won 8 games all season. And the great Tommy Williams had 22 goals to lead the squad with a minus 69. So Mike Marson that year was minus 65. So he was on the ice for a lot of their counters, and not really his fault, because he only won, I think, 4 of the first 54 games. So it was a rough go for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Vintage NHL podcast, especially on the Washington Capitals, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And I think the idea of a Bill Riley getting a 1 game that year, again, 2 black players with the Capitals at the time, but Bill had a little bit more success than he had Mr. Marson had, because he, in 2 consecutive seasons, he came into his own after, unfortunately, caught in the IHL for a lot of years. And of course, his great years in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia in the AHL, where he scored nearly 150 goals. It's quite interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here again with our vintage podcast, give us a shoot, as we say. But Mike Marson, again, big respect for him, because it wasn't easy in the mid '70s, and especially with expansion franchise. I would like to see him play like with the WHA. It's too bad he wasn't given a chance there. Thanks for listening. Bye.